Amazing. Hello, everyone. I hope you can see me, you can hear me. Please let me know in the comments so I know that everything works. I see already some first comments from Lakshya. Sorry if I pronounced the names incorrectly. And hello from Nana from Azerbaijan. Hello. Oh my God, I love when people are connecting from all different corners of the world. I am currently in Prague in the Czech Republic. It's a really sunny, beautiful day here today. And I am really excited that you guys are here because perfect. Thank you so much for the feedback. That's wonderful. Today, I got an hour to respond to any of your questions, whether it's Erasmus Mundus, scholarships. If you have some other questions, hello from Ethiopia. Wow, that's so amazing. We cover all the continents. Wow. I love it. So if you have any questions, let me know what programs you're applying this year or how are you doing. And I'm just here to clarify some of the doubts and questions regarding studying abroad and all those topics you know from my YouTube channel already. We are currently almost at the end of November, which is crazy. The time flies. And I've been accompanying some of the students to finish their applications, and I know some programs finish in December, some of them in January, and I hope today we can get as much as possible from this meeting. And today, what is amazing, I'm gonna have here a friend of mine who is also a YouTube creator, content creator. Viviana is actually doing the same thing as me, which is wonderful, but she's doing the same type of content for Spanish speaking students and audience. She's from Peru. She's from Lima, from the capital of Peru. And she's a star in Peru. And she has been helping students to get the scholarships, explaining the other opportunities to study abroad, but more for the Latin region, for Spanish-speaking audience. Actually, today we host another webinar, which starts at 7 p.m. Central European time. Now it's 4 here in Central Europe. So in 3 hours, we start a new webinar, but that one will be in Spanish. As you know me, I spent some time in South America. That's why my name of my channel is called Chica Checa. That's why you see my Instagram as a Chica Checa, because I feel like my soul belongs to South America. And I lived in Colombia and in Mexico for a couple of months. More than 2 years I spent in South America. And maybe some of you know that I was working as a tour guide when I was actually doing my last semesters of Erasmus Mundus. Then I was a tour guide in South America. I see new comments. Hello from India, Malawi, India, Pakistan, Venezuela. Oh my God. You know, this is so exciting. It has always been my dream to work with people from all around the world. And as I mentioned in one of my videos, like the power of manifestation and like what you want, you just need to send to the universe and it comes back to you. So you never know through which way it comes to you. But as I mentioned in one of the videos, if you're interested, there is this video about how I manifested Erasmus Mundus, and I'm talking about like the power of will. If you really want something, and if you focus on it, and if you pay close attention, you're laser focused, then there is no any other option than that you will actually succeed. And this just applies to anything in your life. I would say I'm a living proof that it works. Not only in Erasmus Mundus, but in works and study. And for example, now I will have Vivi here in a second. I just wanted to show you that I am here in Prague and I manifested my new apartment. I'm living now in Prague and I'm based in this beautiful city. If you ever hear, let me know. I know that one of the Erasmus Mundus program, the Havel one, is actually, and few programs of Erasmus Mundus are actually taking part in Prague, Olomouc, and other cities in the Czech Republic. So if you ever hear, let me know. It would be great to maybe make an interview with you. I see new comments. Present Jay, Zainab, hello. Zainab is amazing. She has been with me through the entire YouTube journey. Gian from Belizean here. Wow. Okay, another Spanish speaking country like Belize. I know that's in Central America. I guess you guys speaking Spanish, right? Thank you for all the advice. Hello from Lebanon. Oh my God, we have the entire world here. This is so amazing. And now I will introduce you to Viviana. Hello, hello. Hello, Vivi. Can you hear us?
Sorry, it was my mic. My mic was off. Hi, nice to see you, Lenka. And well, I don't see the people who are connected, but nice to see you too.
We have literally like so many countries here, some Spanish speaking as well, just Honduras and people from the entire world. How are you today, Vivi?
Good. I just woke up. It's 9 a.m. On a Sunday morning in Peru. So, so I woke up like 1 hour ago, and my baby woke up like 10 minutes ago. He wanted to attend the webinar too, apparently. And I'm good. I'm enjoying my country.
I introduced you just shortly, but actually I want to add something more because we both have been creating the content and we both share so many similar interests like entrepreneurship, personal branding, spreading awareness about the possibilities to study abroad. We both studied Erasmus Mundus, and I found it just incredible when you contacted me like 3 months ago and you reached me out and we had the same size of audience on YouTube, and I was like, wow, like
yeah, actually finding Lenka was like, I don't know, finding my lost twin from another culture, from another country, from Czech Republic. Yeah, because we have the same, very similar interests, and we are creating similar content, but in different language. So it made sense that we became friends and started doing things together.
Can you tell us what program did you do? What year? How was your experience? And
so I am a scholarship holder from 2019 for the 2020. Yeah, for the 2019 cohort of Marije is a Master of Research and Innovation in Higher Education. I studied in Austria, then in Finland, and then in Germany, and we had a small study trip to Asia. We could choose from India or China. I chose China. So I took classes at the Normal University of Beijing.
Yeah, last time when we had a webinar on your channel, it was so funny because we both realized, without knowing it before, that we studied at the same university.
Yes, we both studied in the same small town, right?
Yes, it's because I did my undergraduate in Austria, in Krems, which is a small city, I don't know, 10,000 people living there. And Vivi, you did your second semester there?
My first semester was there.
And we just missed because I finished in 2018 and you entered your Mundus in 2019.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's like a really, really small town. It's
a really small town, and when I say really small town, I'm literal like you walk the whole town in like 40 minutes. Like you walk in a straight line in 40 minutes and you're out of town.
Yeah, because that's the difference. Like when Central Europeans, we stay small, then it for some like we have people here from Pakistan, from South America, and small city means something different than in Central Europe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, especially I come from Lima, so right now I'm based in Lima. I came to Peru to visit my family. I live in Germany normally, but I mean, I live in Germany in a small town in Germany.
How small?
40,000 people. 40,000 people.
Okay,
that's small for me. I was born and raised in Lima. We are 11 million people in Lima, so 11 million in comparison to 4,000 is really nothing. So that's why I'm saying small town. So every time I come to Lima, I get like the chaos again. Like 11,000 people around me, and like 11 million people around me. It's like okay.
Yeah.
but I love it. I love big cities. I think it's because I was raised here, so I'm used to it. I love that you have everything around. You just have to search for it, but it's nice. I like it.
It's funny because I moved to Prague now, and Czech Republic, the entire republic has 11 millions, and Prague has 1 million, and everyone is saying like, "Oh my God, Prague is too big, it's too busy," and it's 1 million people, which in comparison to Lima and other cities, it's nothing. Guys, if you have any questions, just please let us know in the comments. Anything which I don't know, maybe you encountered when you're applying, or just some things which we didn't mention in the videos, or you just want to give us some feedback, whatever. We are here today to chat and to clarify any questions you guys have. Bibi, I would like to know, before we get some comments and some questions, what are you dedicated to now? You finished your Erasmus Mundus. What are you doing? How is the life after Erasmus Mundus?
So I think the life after Erasmus Mundus depends on the profile of the applicant or of the student who goes through the experience. For my case, so I decided to go through entrepreneurship, and I founded my own startup, and I'm working on that at the moment. I actually came to Peru because I won like a huge award, that is given by the MIT, the Massachusetts.
I told you guys, Bibi is a star. Like that.
Yes, I won. I have been chosen as one of the innovators under 35 for of the MIT, right? And that's why I'm in Lima. The awarding ceremony is next week. And right now, like my main focus is to learn my pitch, because I have to pitch my startup in front of like all the people that rule Latin America. So I have to be prepared. That's what I did. But other friends are doing different things, right? Like I have friends working with UNESCO. I have friends working with the OECD, the World Bank, and I mean, or in other universities, like as research or PhD candidates. Yeah.
You studied the program called Mariachi, which is not opening this year, right?
No, it's not opening this year. I mean, it's opening, but only for self-funded students. It's not opening with a scholarship this year.
Okay. What was the program about? Just in which industry?
Innovation in higher education. So we basically discuss how we can make universities more innovative for the 21st century.
I find what you do and like the connection of because our experiences are quite different, because I actually started studying master right after my undergraduate, but you worked for banks, if I'm correct, and you worked in different companies, and then you applied to Erasmus Mundus. And this is a question which people ask me often, like, Lenka, I'm 29, I'm 30 years old, can I go and apply and study again? And I find it amazing that we both are from like different experience.
Yeah. So I applied for Erasmus Mundus when I was 27, while I was working a full-time job at a university here. But I have like my background, my professional background is very mixed, because I'm a person. So I studied business management as a bachelor. And business management, it's a very broad career. So you have a lot of options where you can go. I could go to marketing, I could go to HR, I could go to logistics, I could go to sales. I don't know. So what I wanted to do with that career was to have as many experiences as I could to experiment how was it to work in the different areas of a company or for organization, right? So yes, on my first years of career, I was mostly in the corporate world, working in like the biggest companies of Peru and some international companies too. I worked in banks. I also worked in this German company that is called SAP, and that is for information technology. And and I also did other things in parallel to my work, and it was in those things that were in parallel to my work that I became an like an assistant professor at the university in Lima in Peru, and there I fell in love with education, and I learned, like, I realized that that was my real passion, like education and talent development, and that's how I decided to completely shift my career path towards education and talent development, and that's what I'm doing now. That's how I said, okay, I'm going to find a master program that focuses on education and innovation in education, because I've always been working in the digital teams or innovation teams, digital transformation kind of thing. So I wanted to orient that towards education, and that's what I do.
No. Okay, amazing. I see we already got some questions, but before we will start with a question, I have one last question for you, because you mentioned you have several work experience and then you applied because you were interested to go into education. Did you work during your Erasmus Mundus, or did you resign from all your jobs, or did you work part-time or hybrid? How was it like for you?
So I quit to all my Peruvian jobs. Of course, I didn't want to have like additional stress, and that's something I recommend to every applicant and to every new scholarship awardee. Don't overstress yourself. Like, really, you have to focus on enjoying the experience. The money is not gonna be an issue. Usually, the money, that's one very common question that applicants should have, like, about the monthly allowance that we get, like the money that we get monthly from the program, if it's gonna be enough or not. I mean, from my experience, I've lived in Finland, and I could live with the money of the program in Finland, which is one of the most expensive countries in the world. So
Yeah.
So yeah, just that's just an example that it is possible to live with the money of the program without any problem, right? So having said that, my best advice is that don't overstress yourself trying to work from the straight from the beginning, or work full time from the beginning of the program, because yeah, it's not gonna be so nice for your Erasmus Mundus experience, right? Like, you have to travel, you have to party with your friends, you have to also do a lot of assignments, and so you don't want to do that. But yes, I have worked during my program, but I started working on my last semester. While I was only writing my thesis, my master thesis, since I had more time there because I just had to write the thesis. I decided that I wanted to have some internships that were relevant for the things that I wanted to do after the program. So I started. They're called student jobs. Like, I only worked like 40 hours per week or something, or
40 hours? Full time.
No.
Per month.
20 hours per week. 20 hours per week. So it was 2 days of work, 2 days and a half. And I worked in a remote with a company related to the field of work that I was in, and it was in Germany. That was my first experience, and then as part of the program, I had to have a mandatory internship, and I had that in the Netherlands. I worked for a company in the Netherlands too, also part time, like only 2 hours, 2 days and a half per week.
Cool. So now let's go to the questions. I see we got, a lot of comments. So first question is from Biniam Wald. And Vivi, can you tell us your opinion about how to improve chance of getting selected?
So yeah, that's a complex question. That's not something that I can tell you, you know what, you go there and you do this and you're gonna get selected, because it's a mix of many factors, right? I always talk about I just read one question that it was weird for me. It says, give me some tips for 3 minutes Erasmus Mundus scholarships. I don't know what's that. So
please try to be as specific as possible.
Yeah.
That's easier to answer some concrete questions. And it's
okay. So while being accepted or not depends on many factors, and also factors that don't depend on us, I think each applicant should focus on what they can handle, right? What they have action over, right? So I would say the most important thing is to plan, actually, to strategize and plan your application from early on, like not in the same year that you're planning to apply, and not in the last 6 months that you're planning to apply, but like I'd recommend to do it at least with 1 year of anticipation, so that you can start doing things that will strengthen your profile in order to look more attractive for the selection committee, right?
Yeah.
So then if I would have to say, like, what are the main points that make a candidate selected for a scholarship, is I would say that usually what I've seen in people that I assess for this, and also in my peers, is that these are people that not only have good grades, because good grades are not good grades in the university are not mandatory, like are not the decision factor, but they do have a profile that somehow demonstrates that they have intercultural openness, that they really want to that they really have an interest on the topic that they want to that they are applying to, that goes beyond the academics, that they have done more things than just studying, like if they have work experience, or if they have volunteering positions in fields that are related to the field of study, then that helps a lot. Also, if they have had published research on the topics that they're going to be working on, that's also nice. What else? Own projects, like personal projects that are related to the topic of the program that they're applying to, that also helps, because that demonstrates passion and autonomy, proactivity, which is something that the jury values a lot. Yeah. I would say those are the main things, to have the international approach, to have passion for the things that for the program that you're applying to, or for the topic of the program you're applying to, and to have done a diverse number of things related to it, not only studying, but having a mix of experience, I would say. And of course, the language, you have to know English. I mean, that's I didn't even want to say that, because I think that's obvious, but yeah, better say it. Yeah.
Vivi, you're amazing in describing those like broad things, and you're capable to put it in few minutes, and guys, something I recommend to also observe like things from bigger perspective. It's not just the application, it's like how Vivi is thinking in broad perspective. What is the experience, what is the way of thinking, the approach to things. I often feel that people are just lazy to look up for the information, and this
people are lazy. I don't know if you mentioned this, but I am like, I created an applicant WhatsApp group for Latin American applicants. And I just, like, some minutes ago, I just had like an angry moment for me, like, because people are lazy, people are making questions that they can Google, like, what the fuck, and people are asking in the group while they can ask ChatGPT or Google.
I know.
So it drives me nuts, seriously, because I think that it's a lack of it's disrespectful, for the people who are giving your time with a good soul, to help you in the things that really matter, to have people that are asking questions that they should try at least to have the answers themselves, because it's literally 5 seconds of Google, like
absolutely.
I mean, those are the people that are not going to win the scholarships. that's the truth,
Yes. Next question. There are a lot of questions. I will try to also pick some questions which can answer the topic for everyone, and which are more, let's say, like they have certain topic which are not so broad. Would you recommend doing the TOEFL or IELTS? I will have to do one of those soon, and I'm very torn on doing which. So I will say firstly my opinion, and then Vivi, if you want to add anything to that.
Sure.
We discussed that in your webinar. Personally, I did Cambridge and I did IELTS. in my life, and for my Erasmus Mundus application, I've done IELTS. I recommend IELTS. I think it's easy. It's easy to prepare. It's slightly more expensive than Cambridge, but still it's a little bit easier than Cambridge in my opinion. And I don't have experience with TOEFL. With the IELTS, you just need to bear in mind that there are two types of IELTS. The first one is generic and the second one is academic. And for Mundus programs, you need to take the academic one. I like the IELTS that you actually pay and you get a result. Whether it's A1 or it's C2, you will get something out of it, because if you pay for Cambridge and you don't reach the level needed, then you just wasted your money. So IELTS is better. Also, when you're going to, I don't know, apply for internship, for job, then you have still IELTS valid certificate, even though the IELTS is valid only for 2 years. Again, I am sure that you will find this information in some of my videos on the channel. I think Vivi is talking about that maybe on some of your videos as well, but they're in Spanish. So what is your opinion about the language certificate, Vivi?
So I took the TOEFL, and that's the only one I have experience with, because I took the TOEFL and it was okay. Yeah, it was okay for me. But I haven't experienced it myself, but I have heard from many other applicants that the IELTS, it's usually easier or less complex than the TOEFL to get. So I don't know. I would have to try it on my own to see what's my opinion, but I would encourage people to try. There are mock tests of every test, so I would say if I were a new applicant, what I would do is I would do the mock test of the different tests, and with the one that I feel more comfortable with at the beginning, I would continue. Because all these standardized tests are, I don't know. I don't agree completely with the standardized tests, because you can know the language and you can be very good at it, but then giving the test itself can make you super anxious and nervous, and that lowers your performance immediately. But I would say that the key for every test is to practice and practice and practice and practice and practice before taking the test, so that you can get familiarized with the test, with the structure of the questions and with the timing, because all the tests have timing, and I think that's the main key. But of course, I would not recommend to anyone to apply for this test without having advanced English, because otherwise I think it's just a waste of money. I think you mentioned it already.
Yeah. Absolutely. You need to have the command of the language, and you need to prepare as well. So
yes,
just two key factors.
Yeah, and see what test fits you best, because maybe you for me the TOEFL was completely fine, and also that was the one that I was more familiar with. But for other people, IELTS it's better, or for you did the Cambridge, so I think it's
yeah. But if I should choose, I have experiences with Cambridge and IELTS. I would go for IELTS again if I had to. But as Vivi said, if I were you and you haven't done any of them, I would just go Google, see the structure. What do you like about them? Sometimes also the factor can be that I don't know, the dates to apply are not always available, or they might be booked out. For example, here in Central Europe, they announce a date and there it's immediately full, and sometimes you need to make the test on a certain date. So there might be all different kind of factors which you go for. But yeah, I hope we clarified this question. Is it obligatory to speak 2 languages before applying? Depends on the program. Usually you need, I would say, again, generic question, usually you need only English, because most of the programs, all of the programs, I would say, have the first language is English. However, there are a few programs which the countries which are part of the programs are French. I guess there's one program where you need to master French on some certain level. I guess it's just with French, but I'm not sure. But most of all the programs have English, and a limited number of programs require you to have another language. Again, it's stated in the description of the program. If you go to the section of like requirements or how to apply and so on, and you will go there, then you will see what you need to do and what you need to know to go for the program. Yeah. Okay. Would you like to add something, maybe?
No, sorry, I missed that part because I was also reading the other messages.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Some of the people of my community have joined this chat and they are practicing their English as we speak at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, how to start a motivation letter, first paragraph? How to, like, which opening line?
Hi, for the motivation. I think I'm going to start adding English subtitles to my videos because I have one video for each part of the application to Erasmus Mundus, but it's in English. But it's in Spanish. But I might just add the subtitles so you can watch it, guys. Because I explained this step by step. So I always recommend that the motivation letter should have like 5 paragraphs from my point of view. So in the first one is the introduction, which I call the executive summary. And in the introduction and the executive summary, you have to start with, like when we create content, we start usually with a hook. And in a motivation letter, the first paragraph is your hook because you have to hook the person who is reading it from the beginning. So in the first 10 seconds, your motivation letter should state what's your motivation and why you are a candidate who deserves to be considered for scholarship, right? So you have to bring.
I got a question to you. A lot of people ask, should I open the motivation letter with something like, once upon a time, there was a boy from a little bit. I don't know.
I was born in the woods and and the angels came and told me you are chosen for Erasmus Mundus scholarship.
People want to stand out. And I completely understand, like, motivation letters can get quite repetitive and people try to think of, okay, how can I make the motivation letter special and more exciting and more funny and more like boom boom boom? Would you go for that style still?
I would
stand out,
I would say it depends on the writing abilities of the applicant, right? So what I would say, so and this is a question I received a short time ago, so I have it fresh in my mind. So what I always advise to my assessed people, to my coachees, is that if you are not a person, for example, I mean, I don't want to generalize all engineers, but if you're an engineer or like someone someone who has a better relationship with numbers than with words, so with argumentation, you don't have to like try to be Shakespeare or something. I don't know. Like, you don't have to, like be so creative or imaginative. I don't think that's something that really makes a difference. I mean, if you have the gift of being like a gifted writer and you can make metaphors and create all the stories, well, go on. Good for you. That's perfect. I mean, really good. Congratulations. But not everyone has to be like that. And I am more a fan of keeping things simple and clear, like if you have a motivation, just tell what your motivation is, straightforward, and the reasons why, and argument it correctly. I think something that we have to take into account when we write these motivation letters is, one, the type of program we're applying to, the topic of the program we're applying to. For example, if we're applying for a literature program, maybe yes, we have to demonstrate in our motivation letter our literature skills, right? Or literary skills. But if we're applying, I don't know, to a social science program or to humanities program or to a STEM program, then I mean, we have to think about how we have to think about the profiles of the people who are going to be reading our essays. If there are people that come from academia and the hard academia, I don't know, physics, or I don't know, it's okay. You can just tell them things straight. Like, they are not going to be. Remember that these people that are reading your essays also are used to reading academic papers, which are super long and super, like super detailed. So that's the kind of communication they are used to receiving. So it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be a huge difference whether you started with Once Upon a Time or just stating your motivation directly, as long as you have really good arguments to defend the position that you have to be a scholarship holder. I think the arguments are everything. Like, if you have good arguments, it doesn't matter if you started with Once Upon a Time, or, I mean, yeah, that's okay. Like, you have to think about what your arguments are. So, and your arguments are based on what you have done throughout your life. So that's yeah.
Yep. Well said. Yeah, I would add to that good arguments, clear arguments.
Clear, yeah.
Clear, specific. That's also one of the things I highlight all the time. Just try to avoid generic sentences. And as you mentioned, just bear in mind to whom you send the motivation letter, people from academia, people from academic institutions. However, my point of view on that is also try to make it easy, and not in the sense of easy sentences and easy English, but easy to understand what your motivation is. Try to avoid these lengthy sentences where you feel like you need to read it 5 times to actually get the point.
Yes.
No, just easy, but precise, I would say. Easy,
yeah, I totally agree with you. But I would just say, like, for the creative profiles, like, don't feel that you are in a box. Just be free. If you're creative, that's perfect. If you're creative, it's perfect. Use your creativity to do it. But if you're not, which is the case of most of us, I mean, not a creative writer or whatever, it's just tell them why, and clearly and respectfully and with good arguments, and that's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, how to write winning motivation letter you can find on my channel. If you actually go to the section of popular videos, like the most popular video is actually the one with the pink, it has the pink thumbnail, and I explain step by step about every single paragraph, as Vivi said. And if you go to her channel, you can even though it's in Spanish, you can put the automatic subtitles, and I'm sure you will get some sort of results to at least get an idea what her opinion is about writing the motivation letter. And you can double check it with mine and just take best of both worlds. But the type of content and answers we are explaining here, I'm sure that 80% of it, maybe 95, you can find on the videos. So just give it a little time also to go to my channel and to go to Vivi's channel to see this type of content, because most of the time people ask and naturally it for a reason, they are interested on how to write the perfect motivation letter. And I think we both put a lot of effort into creating content and explaining how to make it and what makes good motivation letter good, right?
Yes.
Would you like to select next question, Vivi?
Yeah. You have a lot of questions. Your people ask more questions than mine.
I think let's try to highlight the answer.
I just found a comment. I just found a comment of one people from my community in Spanish saying, "Vamos a escuchar a Vivi hablar inglés." Let's listen Vivi speaking English.
Yeah, and in 3 hours you can hear speaking me Spanish.
Yes, exactly. In 3 hours you can hear Lenka speaking Spanish for the ones interested.
Yeah.
Just go with the next question. Just
let's go with the next question, and let's try the other questions which we won't have time to answer. I will try to create a sheet of them and maybe create shorts or videos again to answer this. But also at the end of this webinar, wait till the end of this webinar, because as Vivi created a private group for Spanish-speaking students to get in touch on WhatsApp. I created the same one, but for English-speaking applicants for Erasmus Mundus. I guess if you're Spanish-speaking and you speak English as well, you can also join.
You can benefit from both worlds.
Exclusive or anything, like you can be both part of the Vivi's group and mine group as well, and there you can connect and ask some questions and just stay in touch with other people who are going through the same process. So the Nana is asking, on the websites of a few programs, I found that 2024 will be self-funding year. This is something like with Mariachi, right? These projects end in 2024 and 2025 before the master's degree finish. Can it be the reason?
I didn't understand the question correctly, but I think I get the question behind. So regarding the programs that are not being funded this year, you have to, like, applicants should know how the funding for these Erasmus Mundus programs works, right? For example, a consortium of universities get together and talk like, let's make a program, and they decide to submit an application to the Erasmus Plus tender, and once this application is reviewed by another selection committee from the European Commission, they get or not get the funding. So, but this funding that they get, it only applies for a certain number of years, right? Usually, I don't remember if it's 4 or 5 years, but usually they just give the funding for each program for 4 or 5 cohorts, right, for years. So once the funding is over, when this funding period is over, they have to apply again. If they want to keep the program going, they have to reapply for new funds. So that's what's happening with Marije, for example. Marije is planning to continue with the program, but they have to reapply for the funds to see if they are selected. I mean, ideally, they will get selected again because it's a good program and they have really good results, but, they don't like to. Europeans and academics don't like to. That's why I'm saying as well, you can be literal in your statement of purpose and everything, because Europeans like literal things, like clear things, they are not going to say we are going to open new funding rounds if they don't have the money on hand, like if they're not completely sure that they have the money, so that's why they are saying, okay, no, for this year only self-funded students, and that we don't know if we're going to, offer new scholarships after. But usually it happens that the programs that already have a good track record of results, they get the funding again. And most likely these programs that are not being funded this year are going to be funded from next year on. But they are going to just, so that you have to wait a bit for the news. These results usually come out in March, around March, April from next year. So that's when they're going to announce if new scholarships are coming or not.
Okay, so would you recommend to apply anyway and wait if the scholarships are going to
be? If you have the money to pay yourself your master's program and to cover your living expenses in Europe, yes, for sure. But if not, then you have to wait for the scholarship. I mean, of course, there are other ways of funding your scholarship. I mean, if not through Erasmus Mundus, usually your country should have, in the best case scenario, each of our countries should have scholarship programs for top students, and you can apply through your country, or sometimes also the same universities that give the program, they offer some kind of financial aid or scholarship. So you have to. It's not as easy and clear, or maybe it's not as complete as the Erasmus Mundus scholarship, but there are other financial options. Yeah.
Exactly. I met few students who were students of Erasmus Mundus programs, didn't win the scholarship, and still got the financial aid from at least one of the 3 universities. It didn't cover everything, but it could be as high as half of the tuition fee. Again, depends on your financial possibilities, if you're able to pay the half, if not, but there are options. There are just options to everything. Bonheur alla dahe jahe alla.
I love that name. I have to learn how to pronounce it.
Yeah. Can I apply for many programs, as many as you want?
I mean, yes, but
I mean,
no.
I mean, technically yes,
But
and
no.
no. Why no, Vivi?
So I would say you can apply as many programs as you want, if as long as those programs are related, kind of. Because I mean, unless you are, I don't know, a superhuman, and you know, from literature and physics, and you know, you have the grades for both. You know, it's kind of difficult that your profile fits to a lot of programs, you know. And also I would recommend to, like, my personal recommendation is to maintain it like on the three that were before, because seriously, otherwise you're losing your time, you're wasting your time, you're wasting the time of the people who are reviewing your application if your profile doesn't match with it, you know. Like, you have to be very careful that your profile really matches with the requirements of the program that you're applying to. So
Yeah,
while it is a good, I think it is a good strategy to diversify your risks, so applying to more than one program. So three is, I think it's a healthy number. But or I would say five tops, you know. Like, if you have the luck to have like five programs that match your profile, well, go on, good for you, but it's very unlikely that this happens. Yeah.
yeah. There is a great question from I just don't. Yeah, Prayas. I'm a physically handicapped student. Should I apply for this scholarship? I got this question. It's not the first time I got this question. I can just share that from what I've read, the Erasmus Mundus programs should be supportive toward the physically handicapped students. However, I would probably contact the consortium before applying,
Yes.
just to see what are the opportunities, maybe also like extra financial help, and how is just the structure of the physical things, and also like the structure of all the program. What would you do, baby?
So I haven't experienced that within my cohort, and I haven't seen it closely. But now that I remember, I have seen in the last cohort of Maria, like, one of the scholarship holders has a certain disability. She's in a wheelchair, and I saw her there. And what I would say is that, I mean, theoretically and technically, the programs have to be inclusive. So there's not any like barrier on your application as someone who has a certain physical disability or a certain disability. So you can totally apply for it, and you will be considered as a prospective applicant, just as everyone else. um, However, on the practicalities of going there, I think it would depend a lot on your level of, like, on your personal state, you know, or on your personal case. Sometimes, if you have physical disability or a certain kind of disability, you need constant support, like 24/7 support. So I think that's something that the program itself is not going to cover, but you have to cover on your own. I would go. I mean, if you are a person who doesn't need much support, like, I think people from the program are always happy to, like, your own peers are going to be happy to help you. That's always going to be the case, I think. But I would anyways, always, in these cases, which are special cases, I would always ask to the coordinator. I would do what Lenka says. You know, would
Mhm.
always ask the coordinator if they have had uh, previous experiences with people with disabilities, or yeah, try to find a common experience, you know, with maybe not in the same program, but in other programs. And you have to, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think, I mean, while the program is very inclusive, I don't think, structurally speaking, they are covering all the things that the person has
Mhm.
needs.
Mhm. It's also good to contact them, as you mentioned. The programs are inclusive, so they will consider you as a full applicant, no matter any
Huh?
like you have or if you don't have any disabilities, but also like this practical things as finding a dormitory, for example. In some cities and in some countries, the dormitories are booked a year before the new semester starts. So it's good to get in touch with the programs you want to apply, just to also get some better options for example, for housing, which is closer to the campus, which is barrier free, and all those things which depends on your disabilities. But I think Vivi, you explained it extremely well. So
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
also you have to think, I mean, depends on what kind of disability you have. Also you have to think in the, like, yeah, what you just said, no, the commute to the university, like you have to take into account many more factors, like you have to be near, because otherwise then the commute can be difficult or challenging, and then you have to think that you're going to be traveling a lot.
Mhm.
I mean, I would encourage to everyone to apply, but on a realistic basis, like
Yeah. And also
unfortunately that's life. Yeah.
actually, I had a call, like a coaching call with one girl like 3 weeks ago, and she also had a disability. And I actually asked her, okay, it was not a big disability actually, but I asked her, absolutely contact the consortium, but what do you want them to know, or what do you want that the programs will actually adjust to you? And she said, I actually don't think it's any problem for the program, like I can study completely with the same pace as others. So also, if you're going to apply, if you're going to write them or contact them regarding everything, like anything, disabilities or other issues which might arise, just try to also highlight what would you need or what would you
Mhm.
expect, so just they can know what you expect or what would you need, what sort of information would you appreciate, and so on.
Yeah, I would highly recommend to contact the coordinator of the program you're interested in, because they usually, I mean, the coordinators and the like people who are there for giving information, that's their job. So they're usually very open
Lovely.
to reply and give information about whatever doubt you have. And in these cases particularly, I think it's very important to have these previous questions, because, like, seriously, otherwise it's going to be like, even if you're accepted, it can be a difficult experience for you, and more stressful than rewarding. So yeah, better ask, better ask.
Absolutely. Guys, we have last 8 minutes. This webinar last 1 hour. However, there's still some unanswered and some questions left. We will try to answer them in the remaining time. But in the comment section, I share with you the WhatsApp group where you can join. I think, Vivi, you're going to join us as well, of course, after
Yes.
this webinar. And everyone is feel free to join and feel free to ask and connect with others. I would suggest and I would encourage you to actually introduce you, saying where you're from and maybe for which program you're applying to or what is your background. So just we know and we get an idea where are you guys from and who are you.
Uh-huh.
So you will find the link in the comment section, WhatsApp group. And let us continue with some of the questions. I will try to Nana is saying that English subtitles will be helpful to use
Yeah.
used in your video.
I will hire someone, because I don't have the life to do it, but I
Oh,
will hire someone
you
to.
have AI for it. I will show you after
True,
that.
right? Yeah, you have to send me your AI
Yes.
pics.
By the way,
Yeah, I've been too lazy to check on that yet.
I am diving into AI now, and it
Okay,
is
great. Yeah, that's pro tip, guys. Use AI for your applications, not for cheating, but for
yeah.
optimizing them. Like, it's very
Actually,
good.
I am planning. Let me know your opinion, guys. I am diving a lot into AI tools and how to actually make our life easier, our applications easier, everything easier with AI. And I'm planning to create some content regarding AI as well because
You have to do it. I will do it in Spanish. You have to do it in. Let's talk about it later.
that's
Yeah.
the thing with applications. Soon, you will be accepted. You will be studying. So we need to think of the content, the mindset of content creator.
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Okay, I will pick the question from Jorge. if my wife and I trying to apply to the same program, what are the chances that we both get the opportunity? By the way, you both are great, and fire emoji. Thank you very much. So first of all, I would say the opportunity that's like the master's program for Erasmus Mundus are like a black box, let's say, because we don't have a statistic, we don't have numbers, how many applicants are applying. At least on
There
average,
are some statistics by region. I found them sometime. We have to search
I
them.
thought it's just with one program, but yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I
Oh,
think
yeah, but then
I
there is this generic statistic, probably
Mhm.
how many scholarship places are given a year annually. But this is like very broad number.
Yeah, very broad. Exactly.
I will try to. I will just give a very simple answer to this. People always ask how to higher the chances, and besides those advices we try to give with Vivi all the time, like be precise, know your why, complete all the requirements. I always say the best chance to win the scholarship is just give your best. There is no statistic number which says you have 50% to be accepted and you have 60% to be accepted together with your wife or with your buddy. Just put the biggest effort you can, try to match it with the program requirements. I would say in this case it definitely depends what is the experience of you and your wife. Do you have the common background or do you have slightly different background? There are so many factors which can influence this fact: the background, or the motivation letter, the number of applicants which are applying this year. I would say it's just difficult to give the answer. I would definitely recommend apply both. But if you're the best two applicants in that year for that program, then you guys it's the probability you guys will be accepted. But it's just we don't neither me nor Vivi we get the feedback or like internal information from the programs or the consortiums who are actually taking the final decision. So I would say we're quite I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I would just say to that question, it's very difficult to give you a probability number, because probability depends on the globe. Not, it doesn't depend on you, but it depends on on the external factor of your competition, right? So if your wife and you both have really good profiles
Exactly.
and really good like preparation for the scholarship, then you have high probabilities of getting it, regardless if you're married or if you're siblings or whatever. I mean, it depends on your individual profiles. If you don't have strong profiles, then your probabilities are low, regardless if you are married or or friends or even. So it really doesn't. So the fact that you are married, it doesn't affect at all your probabilities of winning a scholarship or not. I think it's your profiles, your professional profiles, what really make a difference.
Great. Vivi, I want you to say in 3 or 5 words what unique qualities does they see in a candidate? Try to come up with 5 adjectives or adverbs or like.
Yeah, sure. Proactivity, the first one, I would say. Autonomy, the second. Orientation to results, like to having good results. Intercultural experience, and real passion for the study program. I would say so. Yeah.
I really feel that you're like a sister from another mother, because those are 5 words I would use and I always keep repeating.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think those are the mandatory. I think, like, seriously, applicant, like people who want to, I mean, I know that these scholarships sound like super dreamy, and it's like, oh my God, is it really true that I'm gonna be living in so many countries, in so many and studying so many universities? It really sounds like a dream. but you have to work for it. It's not like that you know, wake up and then you are like, yeah, I'm gonna win this scholarship just because I'm a cool person.
No.
So you really have to work
I
for
always
it.
say, imagine that there is a startup and they need some seed investment, for example, or you have a project and you need to draw, or how you say, like a business model. Just like to compare and to imagine, you need to showcase that you have the working business idea, and therefore it's worth investing in you. That's how I see it, because
that's actually
the scholarship is worth of thousands of euros, and therefore it's obvious you need to do something for it. You need to be proactive, not only like a good applicant with experience, but like really go through the documents and really searching the information and really see all the details, I would say, and like really put the effort, time into finishing and finalizing the applications and going through the interviews if it's a part of the process. Just, I would actually say, from my point of view, that the I still think that the Erasmus Mundus is the best scholarship or the best program you can ever find. Like,
hands down for me. Like, I think so. Yeah.
Like, there are scholarships which cover your tuition fee, or like scholarship which gives you some sort of money, but Erasmus Mundus covers basically, now it's 1,400 euros a month for 24 months, and you don't pay tuition fees, you don't pay insurance, you just really can focus on the studies. And I still think that the admission process is actually quite easy, because
super easy.
It's like the only thing you need to do is write and collect some papers, send them, and wait for the answer. Like, you don't have to, I don't know, do some extra crazy stuff. You just need to show who you are as a person. As you mentioned, one of the 5 words, you said passionate. If you're passionate about then you don't even have to come up with something extraordinary, because you already are living that. You're already like the candidate of Erasmus Mundus. You're already the perfect student for that program. So you're just describing who you are, sending it, and then waiting for the answer, and then living 2 years in Europe, or even now beyond Europe.
And I just want to add, like, so there are other scholarships that give you the monthly allowance and that cover all your costs. But there are not other scholarships that make you live in 3 or more countries and study 3 or more universities. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah.
I think
I forgot about the most amazing part.
That's the most important part of Erasmus Mundus. And as well, I mean, when you think, I mean, I'm a specialist in the future of work, right? So when you think about the future of work and the future of skills, you really need to have, like, one of these future skills is a global mindset. And really, like, the best way of developing a global mindset is living in different countries. And I think that's the best opportunity. This is the best opportunity to do so.
Hands down. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Guys, it's 5 p.m. So I would closely, we are almost at the end of this webinar. I will just remind you again that in this group chat, you will find my comment WhatsApp group. You feel free to ask, feel free to join. And there will be discussing some of the further questions, or you can connect with each other privately or in the group. Please introduce yourself in the group, say where you're from, for which program you're applying to, and just write the questions. Ask relevant questions, really ask relevant questions, be polite and be helpful with the community. And for the rest of the questions which we didn't cover, or some further topics you would need to get more information about, go to my YouTube channel and go to Vivi's YouTube channel, because I believe we
in subtitles in English.
Vivi is from Peru, so she, as I mentioned at the beginning, for those of you who weren't here at the beginning, Vivi is creating the same type of content but in Spanish. Yeah. Though on YouTube you can put the automatic subtitles, but I still cover basically everything what is needed for Erasmus Mundus application in English. So if you don't speak Spanish, don't worry. Go to my channel and just go through maybe the most popular videos, because the most popular videos, if you have this section is describing how to write winning motivation letter, the most common reasons why people are rejected, how to write letter of reference, or how to ask for letter of reference, how to have the correct mindset, what is the financing like, because it has changed. So some of the videos which were created last year or previous year, the year before, the conditions are different now. So just as Vivi said, be proactive. Either try to put it in the Google, find it on my YouTube channel, or connect in the WhatsApp group. And if you're a Spanish speaking person, then I would like to invite you to another webinar, which is 2 hours, which is in 2 hours.
In 3 hours. No, in 2 hours. In 2 hours. Sorry.
2 hours.
It's already 10. It's already 10.
And we're gonna speak in Spanish. What is the topic, or what would be?
The topic of today is exactly how to make a strong profile for Erasmus Mundus. How to improve your profile for Erasmus.
Okay, but for those of you who speak Spanish, if you don't speak Spanish, don't worry, because again, this topic I have covered in my YouTube channel. Just yesterday, there was a new video released on how to higher your chances to win the scholarship, how to improve the application. So I believe that everything will be discussed. What will be discussed in the webinar is also covered in the YouTube video, which is in English. And if there will be some new ideas from Vivi, I will share that in the group or on my socials on the YouTube. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for the questions, and thank you for your support and just that you've been here. I wish you a lot of luck. And if you would like to add something, Vivi.
No, I think you have said it all. I would just say that for all the prospective applicants, is like, seriously, guys, you can do it, but you have to be very strategic and you have to plan ahead how you strengthen your profile in order to be attractive enough to be selected among the top 5% of the world, because at the end, the winners of these scholarships, you have to keep in mind, that are the top 5% of the world. So you have to become competitive for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, everyone. Just the last thing I will say, the tips for the interview again will be found, Mary, it's on my YouTube channel. All the topics you need to apply.
I think Lenka, that you should create, I don't know, like a playlist or something like that.
I
so
have
you
a
can
playlist.
Just share it. Yeah, just share the link and let people, because I mean, as well, I think, and I'm gonna use this community to say something, because seriously, guys, you cannot come to this kind of webinars or to any kind of webinars that are of people that are sharing their experiences to ask questions that you can find on Google, or that you can find on the content that the person is already create, or that the person has already created. Like, you have to take responsibility of your own application. And if you have questions, you have to be proactive and try to solve them on your own. Research a lot. I think then you asked me at the beginning of the webinar, like, what is the common characteristic that I see on winners of scholarship? I see that they are resourceful. Like, they have a question, they don't rest until they find the answer on their own. Like, you have to learn how to do your research on your own as well. That's a very important characteristic.
And if you guys, because I receive many questions daily, and if those questions are generic, I don't answer.
I don't answer either. Like, seriously, like, when I read these questions, I'm like, I'm not even going to spend my time here.
Yes. Firstly, the time is limited, and secondly, as you always said, it shows the proactivity, it shows the lack of respect a little bit if you guys create a lot of effort into creating that, and you don't even take a look. So take a look. I will see you in 2 hours, Vivi.
See you then. I'm gonna have breakfast.
Buen provecho.
Okay. Bye, guys. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. See you. Bye. Ciao.